All right. So, first things first. My name's Tyler. I run the Duelist Cipher channel. Birdman's in the back. We got our man, Clifton, Land, celebrity. Y'all
Celebrity.
Bro, absolutely.
Hometown hero.
Hometown hero. He's been through this long. So introduce yourself a little bit more, where you where you were born and stuff like that, and what made you get into Yu-Gi-Oh for the first part.
For sure. My name's Clifton Land. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I've always lived here. All of my family is from North Carolina, which is pretty cool, I guess, because we've had last nationals and YCS recently in Raleigh. So that's been pretty dope, getting down to like visit them and stuff. Yeah, so I live in Louisville, Kentucky with all these guys. I'm married. My wife's from Baltimore. She's from Glen Burnie. If anybody of you guys from the Baltimore area, like Maryland area, that's pretty cool. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Louisville.
Yeah, he's about to mind wreck you.
Yeah, that's the mind games, the next level mind games.
Yeah.
But I love Yu-Gi-Oh too much to like pursue more schooling. So
that's fair. So like, what when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh itself, what keeps you playing the game? I know you said you love it, but like, what do you love about Yu-Gi-Oh the most? And this is one of the questions asked by Activate Mystic Mind.
Activate Mystic Mind. All right, fuck your name. We'll start there.
So true.
Fucking hate Mystic Mind. Oh my god, that's second least favorite card ever created.
Second least? What's the first one?
Take a guess.
I don't know.
Maxi.
Really?
Least favorite card ever.
Okay,
I guess we'll just start this too. I played Yu-Gi-Oh for not a crazy long time, but like a long time. So I can remember like going to like my first locals in like 2011, but I didn't even attend a regional till like 2012, and it was only like a Louisville regional. So I didn't even start like actually like traveling to an event till like 2013. So I kind of, whenever people ask me, I usually say like, when did I start playing? I usually say like 2013, so like Dragon Roller format. Yeah. So yeah.
That was a terrible format too, right?
Yeah, it was. And like Maxi has pretty much been out as long as I've been playing the game. And oh my god, I would rather be Mystic Mind every day of the week than Maxi'd once a month. Yeah. Oh my god, there's no worse feeling than getting Maxi.
Bro, in the Dragon rules, when they hit you with the Maxi challenge, like, you really want to do this?
It just skips your turn.
And you get decked out, because those cards...
That's like my favorite argument. People are like, well, if you get Maxi, just stop. You fucking die.
Yeah, then
are you not playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah. It's, they activate Maxi.
You die. No, you can't.
Banish, summon. This is exactly 8,000.
Yeah.
Some change.
Like, look at the OCG. They have 3 Maxi, but they can't play any cool decks because... If you get Maxi, you either lose or you push and you die. That's why they all, So it changes like the way the game's played and deck building and everything. But I'm getting off topic. Where were we at?
No, you're good.
When I started playing.
So
stuff.
It's like, so what do you love most about Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, what keeps you coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh?
The creativity. There's a lot of things you can do in Yu-Gi-Oh, which I like. Which is funny because my least favorite part about Yu-Gi-Oh is deck building.
Really?
I hate deck building.
I do too.
Absolutely hate deck building. I also think I'm bad at it. That's probably why I hate it. But yeah, I hate physically like building decks. Like some of my friends, they're like, oh my god, like I need like, what Link 2 Fiend can we put in this Unchained deck to make it broken? They'll go on like DB or like Neuron and search the database. They'll type in Link 2 Fiend and there's like 400 pages of Link 2 Fiends. There's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they'll be like, they'll scour the page and read every single one of them. Or they'll be like, oh, Bonfire just got released. I'm going to read every single level 4 or lower Pyro card to see if we... That's not me.
That's dedication.
Yes.
I ain't that dedicated.
I'm the person who I wait for someone to find that card and then tell it to me and then I'll break it. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like with the knowledge. Yeah. I value like technical play and actually like playing the game and stuff a lot more than deck building. That's also why I don't play online a lot. I don't like playing on DB. I love like theory and stuff. Like Yu-Gi-Oh theory is like my favorite. But yeah, that's why I don't like playing online either. I really like the physical interaction of like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. Like I love being able to like bluff my opponent. Yeah, you can like bluff your opponent and kind of like mislead them and stuff like that. And like playing online takes away a lot of that.
It takes a big aspect away, like that mystery of like, dang, my opponent just set 4 cards. Is he playing Labyrinth? Realize, now I break 2 of these are imperm, 2 of these are spells. You gotta figure it out, you know.
So I like that a lot. Like the creativity of the game is like insane. It's not like a game where it's like chess or poker or even like checkers. If you really like get as basic as that, like all those games are like finite zero-sum games. Like nothing changes. Those games have been around for like 1,000 years, and those games have never ever changed.
It's kind of stale.
They've never ever evolved. Yeah, I mean like maybe not stale because like I mean there's like new like moves being invented and stuff. But like theoretically to those games, there's always like an 100% like correct move to make. You know what I'm saying? Which is like cool because it eliminates all of the luck.
Right.
Theoretically, right? But
I think playing tier.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But see, that's why I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like part of the luck just makes the game fun.
Yeah.
And it also just has like there's no resource. So in comparison to like Magic and Pokemon, and I've played all of them. So Magic is probably my least favorite just because of how slow it is, and having to draw your resources is a flawed mechanic.
Yeah, I play Magic too.
It's flawed. And it's very slow, and that is the worst community that I've ever interacted with. I work at a card store, by the way, so I interact with a lot of people on a daily basis.
Out of all of the card game communities, it's Magic.
Magic's the worst.
Who's number 2?
Pokemon. Pokemon's the next worst.
Number 3.
And then Yu-Gi-Oh's the best. Out of the big 3, I would say.
That's fair.
Because Magic is like usually like our age, so like mid-20s and older. And I don't know, I just don't like the community. It just feels old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Magic is old.
It's just old and slow. I mean, the game is old. So
it's ancient.
I just don't like that. Yeah, it's not fun. I don't know. It's just too slow. I don't know. And then Pokemon, it has like a weird, like, it's either all the people are super young, they're like little Poke kids, or they're like 40 plus, they're like Poke dads. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a hell of a way to put it.
There's like not
Poke kid, Poke dad.
Yeah, there's not like you got the Pichus and the Raichus, there's no Pikachus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Pokemon's missing that like weird, like cool, like I guess like high school to like college balance.
Yeah, like a little bridge to it.
Yeah,
like,
and Pokemon has the second worst mechanic ever to be created, which is prizes. I don't know if you've ever played Pokemon.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like after you start the game, you lay out the top 6 cards of your deck, and every time you knock out a Pokemon, you take a prize depending on what you killed. So like every time you kill a Pokemon, you get a prize. After you take all their prizes, you win the game. Okay, but the prizes are 6 random cards at the top of your deck. So if you prize a card that you need in your deck, you lose the game.
Oh man. That's rough.
Yeah, and also it like punishes your opponent. It's not like a catch-up mechanic. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're doing well and you're slaughtering them, you're getting more cards because you're getting your prize cards.
Right.
It should probably be the other way around. Like where if like I hit you, your opponent takes a prize.
Right.
Kind of like a life system, kind of like One Piece.
Yeah, how One Piece is.
Yeah. Like it's like it should be a catch-up mechanic, not accelerating me beating my opponent's ass. And then the prizing system is just like insane. The only 2 positives of those games that I can say is they are much cheaper. And they are allowed to give out cash. Yeah. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Was never about the cash. It's about the glory. I could like don't get me wrong. Like cash would be nice. Like cash prizing stuff would be nice. Even if they upgraded it to like not cash prizing, but like a lot more gaming systems and like a lot more packs.
Like they can do like vouchers and stuff.
Vouchers,
like
alternate art cards. Like that's one of like the coolest things about One Piece. They do like all the alternate art, like rares of cards, and those cards are like thousands of dollars. And like Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, you could just take it like a prize card and like and sell them for money. You know, like it's. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh has like bought me my car, my house.
Literally.
Paid for my wedding.
Let's put that work in though.
Yeah, for sure. But like they do need to up it. But like it doesn't have to be like physical cash. But Konami does need to.
Yeah, because that's one of the biggest things that's always been about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the pricing system.
Yeah, but Yu-Gi-Oh! It's been about the glory. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's the most just like it just feels so premier. Like I've played like all the other games. Like I've been to like more competitive like events for the other games. And yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Just like the status of like whether you're walking to like a Magic like Star City Games Open or like a Pokemon Regional, which is like their equivalents to like a YCS. Yeah. But like whenever you walk into like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals or like a YCS, you can feel the pressure.
Oh, yes.
And that is my favorite thing about the game.
I've only been to Nationals twice, and I can tell you.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Amazing.
You can feel it as soon as you walk into the room. Right. And that's why I like it. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, that's why it's the best game also, because it has like the high school to like college age. It has like the 16 that like at max, usually like 30. Kind of like, it has that sweet spot of like where everybody's like pretty like loose and chill. Yeah. And that age group is like super, super good.
I enjoy it. Sometimes, unless you get paired up with the one kid who does actually at Mystic Mind 9, you're like, I'm going to teach you the days.
Yeah, no. I've been Mystic Mind, and I'm not happy that Mystic Mind was ever invented. I'm glad that card and Maxi are banned. But
super legal.
No, yeah. Maxi, not it.
No.
Please don't ever bring it back.
They can bring it back.
No.
No. Just one?
No. If it ever does come back, it has to come back to 3. That way everybody can just like use it. You know what I'm saying? And you won't just like get sacked by one Maxi.
Yeah. I had to fix my mic, you know what I'm saying? Production getting on me.
Production getting on me.
You can talk. It's okay. He's annoying.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Well, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
So when it comes down to Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, I know one of the people asked, when it comes to like side decking for different matchups, like what's your process of that? Like side decking patterns, like for example, you play Brandon, right? And weirdly enough, if you hadn't watched the feature from when he toured both his feature matches, it was absolutely just raffle stomp. But like when you play against decks that your deck is not versatile against, for example, you play against
Stun.
Stun.
I played against Stun both times.
That Stun match, very good player too. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name. But like those
You
particular
talking about the Flunder guy or Runic Stun?
the stun player.
In top 32?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Aaron Furman. Yeah. I'm a huge Yu-Gi-Oh nerd, so like, yeah, Aaron Furman. I'm just gonna tangent. Fantastic player, Aaron Furman. I actually met him whenever he came down to a locals I was attending in Lexington, Kentucky, in like 2014. Oh. He was randomly visiting in town, and he showed up to our locals. So that was the first time I ever met him. And I think he had just topped 2013 Nationals with Dragon Rulers. So this is like the first time I'm getting more competitive to the game. But yeah, no, that dude's a super accomplished player. He won YCS Pittsburgh in 2017. He actually got 32nd after Swiss.
Oh.
And squeezed into top cut, and he won the event, YCS Pittsburgh 2017, with True Draco Zoo.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Well, I like
and then when Chester won Nationals in 2017, since Furman was, whatever the placing was, 7th or 8th or whatever, Chester wasn't able to go to Nationals. So since he wasn't able to go, the spot got bumped up, and Furman went to Worlds that year in place of Chester.
Oh, my
So, yeah, no, Furman is a super decorated player.
Crazy story.
Yeah, he also, the first event I ever topped was YCS Origins. So YCS Columbus 2016, he knocked me out of top 4, Aaron Furman. So the last time I had played Furman was in the top cut of another YCS.
Oh my God.
So it's kind of like a grudge match.
It is a little grudge because you came back and he was like, hey, I remember.
Yeah. No, so that's super good player. So
like those particular interactions with playing against a deck that you're not versatile with and branding against any stun is just like, well, this is rough.
It's weird because the deck doesn't really have any in-engine or in-archetype spell trap removal.
Yeah, so like how is your side deck patterns when you know you're going against? Because in top 32, top 16 up, you pretty much know what your opponents are playing.
Yep.
So like how do you choose your cards to side in, side out? What's good against this deck? What's not? What are you keeping in your main deck to change out for these side deck cards?
Yeah.
Like what's the process for that?
So I guess at the very, very like bare bones of it, it always depends on the matchup, like what you're playing and what your opponent's playing. But we'll take the example you used of like stun. So for example, whenever I was playing against him, you need back row hate. And I believe I was siding Dusters and Cosmic. So those had to come in. However, I had a lot of dead cards in my main deck because my main deck is, of course, built to beat not stun. It's built to beat more prominent decks in the meta, such as like Fire, Voiceless, and stuff like that. So I have a bunch of dead cards in my main deck. Like I have Forbidden Droplet, I have Thrust, Talents. So that's 9 cards right there that are like super dead in my deck. And I'm looking at my side deck like 1 Duster, 3 Cosmic. That's only like 4 cards. I have to take out 9, and I can only put in like 4.
Yeah, you're like,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes it weird.
So usually when you're siding like that, you kind of just take out the cards that you know are going to be like super, super, super useless within the matchup. So like one of them that I like, the ones that I immediately took out were Talents and Thrust, because in my mind I was like, if I can ever catch him with a Forbidden Droplet on like his Hugin, that way I can negate it and then like pop a card, Hugin can't save it. Or maybe a more likely scenario, since usually whenever I'm popping something, he's chaining it to summon Hugin, and by the time the chain resolves, Hugin can just banish itself. So I never have the time to droplet. So I was thinking like maybe best case scenario, I can what's it called? Negate Gary whenever it uses its effects to add back Fountain from the grave. So I was like, Droplet might have an applicable use. Yeah,
so versus the other cards.
Versus the other ones that I will most likely never ever activate.
Because he's never going to activate Monster Effect. Their Thrust and Talents are literally just like, yep, these are bricks. They're dead at this point.
But sometimes you got to take it even deeper. Like for example, I'm looking at my deck like Gimmick Puppet. I'm like, he's playing Stun.
Yeah,
he's never summoning a monster.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like your initial thought would be like, okay, well, Gimmick Puppet is immediately coming out of my deck, right? But I have way too many cards that already need to come out versus what I'm putting in. So sometimes you just really have to like dig in there and be like, will this situation, does it even have like the possibility of coming up? Because the 3 Talent, 3 Thrust are like almost never going to be activated.
Right.
So for example, Puppet, a way you can use it against Runic Stun is if it's like your opponent's turn, you can Sanctifier, because most of the time, 99% of the time, you're wanting to try to make Sanctifier in the stun matchup because it can't be targeted. So they can't Flashing Fire or Freezing Curses it. So usually it's just a big body for them to deal with. So we can summon it, and then it helps me play the grind game because I can keep bringing back cards from my graveyard, such as like Borreload Furious Dragon.
MVP.
Which was the MVP in that, because it could pop spells and traps.
That card is insane. Insane card.
But you can also give them Puppet, and then since they are locked for that 1 turn on theirs, that's when you can really try to maximize taking advantage of popping their spells and traps, because even though it's only for that 1 turn on your opponent's turn, they can't activate any of the runic spells
to summon out for protection.
To summon out. So they have to either immediately chain to my Sanctifier to summon out one of their guys, and then hopefully I have like Mirror Jade or like Boral Savage, or not Boral Savage, Furious to like pop their Hugin or whatever, and then start picking off back row. But if they don't chain directly to it, I can give them the Puppet, and then that allows me to like set up a huge Guardian Chimera play where I can like pop 2 cards, and I don't have to ever worry about them using a rune expel.
Yeah, and then
so I was like, Puppet.
It's insane.
Yeah, so normally on the surface level, you might be like, Puppet's terrible. It's not a combo deck. It's immediately coming out, which is like would be true against like Flu. Like Flu will never special summon.
Yeah,
it's like Puppet's like definitely one of the cards you're taking out. But
100%.
against Stun, you know, that's a real situation that could come up.
Yeah, like it has levels to it where you can actually utilize it.
So it always depends on what matchup you're playing. But like general like cardinal rules are don't ever side out engine unless it's engine that you like do not need in the matchup. It also depends if I'm going second.
So in that same example, in that same scenario, think about when you played against Snake Eyes.
Yeah, like pure Snake Eye?
Yeah, pure Snake Eye. So what would be your type of siding patterns in that case when playing branded in this particular case?
Yeah, so if I'm playing at Snake Eye, I never side any cards when I go first, especially when I'm playing branded.
Really?
Yeah, because you don't ever want to take out any of your engine. Okay, you don't ever want to make your deck less consistent. And just like going first, especially on a deck like Branded, that's already a blessing enough for me. Yeah. You know, if I could go first, Brandon's usually pretty good at playing through like 1 or 2 hand traps. And if I go first and my combo resolves, whereas I can give a puppet them, I win the game. Yeah, I don't want to make that deck worse by taking out other cards or like some engine. Like maybe I don't need the 3rd Albaz or I don't need the 3rd Cartesia. Maybe like let's put in this like deck lockdown in case my combo does get stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, but like I don't even think that way. It's just I want to force my combo through because I'm going first, lock them, win the game. So most of the time whenever I'm playing a deck like Branded or some sort of like auto win kind of deck like that, like if you're also playing like Vanadium that also played like Calamity, you know, something like that, I would dedicate minimum 12 side deck slots to going second. Because the deck is so much weaker going second, usually, than it is going first. Because going first, you just want to make your main deck as strong as possible for if you do win the roll, you automatically win game 1. That way, game 2, you hopefully can like stun them with like your side deck cards or hopefully just win the game. But if not, even if you lose, you won game 1, so you automatically get to pick that you're going first game 3, and then you just FTK them again with like your Puppet or Calamities. So most of the time, whenever I'm playing decks like that, I build my side deck to counteract what the deck is not good against, or like what not good at doing. Because if I'm going first, I'm probably going to win anyway, so my combo resolves, which like 90% of the time it does.
And it does. We saw it on stream.
Yeah,
and it was absolutely insane.
I did Puppet the matchup I didn't want to Puppet.
Yeah, which we talked about that, I think maybe I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday or Monday before the YCS. We were talking about it. I said, well, you might play against Flunderies. I might have to Puppet them. And then literally your feature match was you playing against Flunderies, doing the full combo, puppeting them, and then they go normal summon Eagle, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, but sometimes that's how it goes. Flunderies is never a deck that's ever like been on my radar. You don't build your deck for a deck like Flunder. Yeah. Like just like Vanadium. You would never ever build your deck in today's meta to beat Vanadium. If you get Calamities, you get Calamities. Good thing you can top a YCS at X1, right? Yeah. That's like your one bullshit.
One time that was the
your one bullshit round for the day I lost. Yeah. Because like most of the time you're never ever gonna play against Flunder. You're never ever gonna play against.
Yeah, like those type of tier decks.
Yeah, I feel like people like really zone in on those decks and they're like, oh my god, if I play against Flunder, I just lose. I have no sidecars for Flunder.
Yeah, and it stresses you out.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro.
Weird choices.
It's really important to know that even though there's like 2,000 people in the tournament, you're not going to play every single one of them. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're walking around, you see a Flu player sitting down, you're like, oh my god, he's coming for me next.
Birds are here.
No, yeah. A lot of people think that way, but yeah, try to push that out of your head. Just focus on like the most popular matchups, the stuff you're going to play, and then build your deck for that.
So with the side decking options and that, how would you build your side deck in our current meta? How would you build your side deck on Branded?
On Branded?
Yeah, because I know you're not playing Branded right now. But that was one of the... You put me on it, bro, and I'm loving it. But that's just one of the things I'm thinking about. Like, currently, because we have now Pkwy in the format. We have the singing deck. Was it Melodious?
Yeah. Branded has a good matchup against that deck, though, so it's good.
And it's true. I haven't played against it, but thank the Lord. I don't know, because I have to learn all that stuff. But, like, in your case, how would you develop or create your side for the current top, 3 decks, 5 decks, however you want to put it? Yeah. Which would be any Snake Eye variant, so any fire deck, and then Pkwy, and then
Voiceless probably be up there.
It's Voiceless. I ain't gonna lie, Voiceless is kind of free matchup when it comes to Branded. I've learned the hard way. But how would you go about building and completing your side deck for that and the patterns you get? In this case, against Voiceless or Snake Eye. Well, I'm sure I did Snake Eye. Like Pkwy, because I don't know if you played against that yet.
Yeah, I haven't been playing. I've been playing a lot of Melodious recently, so I actually haven't played Branded since Raleigh. Funny enough, I'm super weird about like whenever I like play a deck a lot,
and that's it.
And then like that's it. I have to take a break from it. So like I played like so much Fire King leading up to YCS Las Vegas. As soon as like a Phantom Nightmare came out, we tested like months in advance. And then we like got to the event, played the event, and then after that, I've never touched like a fire card since. I was like, I'm done. I need a break. And then like same was like Raleigh. Like I played like so much Branded like leading up to it. We got the list.
How many rounds was that for you?
Huh?
How many rounds was that?
11, what, 12, 13. Yeah, 11 and then top 32, top 16, 13 rounds.
That's too much Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Stamina is a huge thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Too.
I can give you 9 rounds. That's about it.
9 rounds max.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, whenever I'm building a side deck, I definitely look at the meta, like what's popular in it, and then what my deck struggles with the most. So, for example, kind of like going back to like what I said with Branded. Branded does not struggle with going first. Like, and especially like Tempa. They're just going to make you go first. You're like,
cool.
Thank you.
Did you open 3 hand traps?
Yeah.
You didn't.
You can't. Yeah, you just puppet them and you win. So you're like, oh gosh, thank you. So that matchup's like probably the buy. I haven't played against Pkwy with Branded because I haven't played any Branded, like I said. But there's probably a world where like after like if they win the roll game 1 and then you puppet them and win, there's probably a world that they go first game 2. Especially like more people are playing like the Crystal Wing, like Zulk and stuff with spheres. They might do that and like, or like Heat Wave, obviously.
Yeah, the Heat Wave, you're like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, they might think like that's enough because they're like, if I don't draw enough hand traps and this dude puppets me, I just lose immediately. So yeah, there's a world that they might go first in those matchups.
Birdman knows because we test it.
But yeah, in those matchups, whenever I'm playing a deck like Branded is like a little bit weird because it is such a going first, like strong deck. It's like if I was playing it, I would only play like 3 cards in my side deck for going first, like max. And those cards would probably be like either deck lockdown or like dimensional barrier. Just in case if my puppet lock failed or like I physically wasn't able to do it, then I would have like a card that could essentially skip their turn and then give me another turn to try to puppet lock them. You see what I'm saying? And then all the other like 12 cards in my side deck was specifically to beat those matchups.
Does that roll over and also to the deck building with the current deck you're playing?
So no. Right now we've just been playing Melodious. But that deck, it's good at going first and second, but it is not amazing at going first, and it's not amazing at going second.
So it has like a little middle ground.
It's good, and most decks do. Like even like Pure Snake Eye has like good going first, and like it doesn't have amazing. It doesn't have auto wins. Like sure, pretty much any deck if you go first and like your combo results and your opponent has no hand traps. I mean, most of the time you're probably going to win unless you're playing against an opponent that has like a board breaker or is playing like a deck with a super strong engine. It's like Branded. Like Branded can just crack boards with like. If you have like 6 good, like one of engine cards and no non-engine, you can crack boards.
Hold my beer. Is what that is. And you start cracking the board.
Yeah, but not every deck can do that. So normally what I do is I offset it like a little bit more. So like for example, like in Melodious or like generic decks like that, it would be like 9 going second cards, 6 going first cards. I'm a huge fan of like 3-ofs. Like almost all the time in my side deck, I try to do like
3-ofs?
Yeah, like in my side deck, I try to make sure it's like 3-3-3-3-3 if I can. Of course, there's like broken 1-ofs like in Melodious, like Feather Duster is like a generic 1-off that you like really want. But then like Melodious, like Rivalry is a fantastic card that you want in your side deck. But Rivalry is a 1, so if I could play 3, yeah, I would.
Right.
But so yeah, if you can keep it at like 3-ofs, it makes the side decking pattern like much better. That way you're thinking of like a generic example, and like Branded would be like if I was playing deck lockdown, I could like if I was going first, I could just take out the 3 Forbidden Droplet and put in 3 deck lockdown. Gotcha. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
yeah. The 3-ofs make siding patterns a lot easier, but it doesn't always work out that way.
That's fair. So I'm gonna do a 3-in-1 question here.
3-in-1.
3-in-1, which is favorite format.
Okay.
Favorite deck.
Favorite deck ever, or in this current format, or in my favorite current format. We'll do it all.
We can do it all.
Okay.
And then what makes a good format?
Okay. Start at the beginning. What was the first one?
Favorite format.
Favorite format ever?
And then favorite format ever, and then what makes a good format?
Okay, so favorite format ever is hat format. So 2014 Nationals.
Hat format, bro.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's my favorite format. It also has, it's probably because I'm a little biased, because it has my favorite deck ever in that format. It's called Sylvans.
Sylvans?
Yeah, the little plant guys that they excavate.
Yeah.
That's my favorite deck ever. My favorite card ever is Lone Fire Blossom.
Was that the first card that the first deck that actually included excavation?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
It is. That like mechanic basically was.
Damn, we've been around for a minute.
And then of course they like changed like Pot of Duality now excavates. They just updated the text on a lot of cards. But yeah, I guess Sylvans is kind of like what made that word like more popular. But yeah, my favorite card's Lone Fire Blossom, and the whole deck's plants. It's like Lone Fire Soul Charge, kind of crazy. So yeah.
Oh god, it was.
And that format was just so diverse. You could literally show up to the tournament and play whatever you wanted and do well. I love it. Like Jeff Jones, like one of the most like goated like players and deck builders of all time, played Pkwy Miru at that event and did well.
That Dragon was a real card.
I know.
I love that card. It's one of my favorite dragons.
It was pure Pkwy Miru. It wasn't anything.
Reveal it?
You could literally play whatever you want. Like Noble Knights was good. What's it called? James Chow won an ARG with Laval during that format. Do you know what Laval even is? The little fire monsters?
Fire dudes.
Rekindling deck?
broken, but they make Quasar.
I know.
They made like 2 of them.
Yeah, but like you could show up to any tournament during that format, literally play whatever you wanted. You could probably show up to that format with like a stack of bulk and like do all right.
Oh, okay, that's crazy.
And like I love formats like that, like the diversity and stuff, and like it was like super good paced, even though it hadn't like the most broken card ever invented, Soul Charge.
Soul Charge was broken.
It was, but it made the format
Soul Charge. Do it again.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
But it was like a good extender, like almost like basically a good starter too.
Yeah,
and then and it was a good catch-up card. Like you could just like top deck it, and if you got a decent amount of life points, you're like back in the game.
Yeah, Soul Charge. They got put to 1, got banned. Oof.
Yeah, that's my favorite format, and that's the favorite deck. That's my favorite deck. Sylvans and Hat.
So and then
what makes a good format?
Yeah, what makes a good format?
Diversity, in my opinion.
Now that's a big one right there. I know
a lot of people, especially like a lot of like the like pro players and stuff, they really like one deck formats. And don't get me wrong, I do like one deck formats because most of the time everybody's going to be playing that deck, so you don't have to worry about getting caught off guard by like Flu. You know what I'm saying?
Or Labyrinth.
Some random deck that just gonna like fuck up your weekend. So
get your weekend wrecked by Labyrinth.
Yes. So like one deck formats are good, and a lot of the good players do excel during that time period, which I do like, because most of the time, if I'm confident in the deck that everybody's always going to be playing, if I can just master that deck, I'm better than like most of the other people in the room. So I'm just always going to do well because you don't have to account for like. Everything's a lot more predictable because everybody's on the same deck. And then there's a little bit of like nuances and like tech choices, like one card in the extra deck, or like somebody like shows up and it's like messing around with a different side deck card or something. But for like 30, like, so let's say there's 70 cards in a deck, 40 and then 15 extra, 15 main. Like 60 out of those 70 cards are the same in every single people's decks in the room. Which is cool. Because
it gives you the knowledge.
And it just gives you the advantage if you are a good technical player, which that's what like I pride myself in being in, which is why I don't like deck building. I like playing a lot more. So I feel like that's why a lot of people like that, because it's a lot easier to do well in those formats because they're predictable, you know what to prepare for. But my least favorite thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is mirror matches. I hate playing the mirror and I hate watching the mirror. No matter what the deck is, it is boring. I see it on, I watch a lot of Dueling Book. I watch so much VOD. Like I don't play too much. I go to locals and stuff, but I don't grind like DB or I don't like grind testing sessions even leading up to an event. I just watch. I watch so much VOD. If you have a YouTube channel out there, I've probably watched your videos. Like, that's fair. I watch so much content.
You're gonna see them in your chat. That's what it was.
Yeah, you can learn anything from anybody. That's where like you just get so many cool ideas and stuff from.
That's kind of where I got most stuff from too.
Yeah,
just like watching.
So I love watching. So if like the format or like the matches are just boring, I just can't do it. So like usually like tier 0 format, I'm like all in for like the very first event of the format, and then I will never ever touch the deck again.
That's fair.
Like it just gets super stale, super quick. Those are also the formats that just get solved like after the first event. Oh my god, it's so boring. So I like diversity. I like when you can play whatever you want. It also makes it harder though. But I think that's what makes a player good. Like consistency and just being able to do
that diversity.
And consistency is what makes a player really, really good. Like being able to top through like a bunch of formats. Like there are a lot of people, even good players, have like had their format where they were just like dominant against one format, but like you've never heard of anything before, never heard of anything after. And like sometimes it happens. Like, they got their win, they were good in that format, they were good with that deck, and then they're out.
Signed the slip and they went on by
Yeah, they got their YCS win, they're out. But yeah, consistency makes a good player. And I love diverse formats. I love being able to play whatever I want.
But playing against whatever you want is rough.
Like a spider on your shoulder makes your skin crawl.